Welcome back to the shop. I'm Jeff from Today's Craftsman, and we're in the thick of another run of the Kenji Leone salt cellars, so you may hear some noise in the background. Walter and Rob are back there putting some together right now. So after they get assembled, they come over here, and I'm drilling all of the lids for pins. So they get a brass pin. I have them here in this little container. So that's what we use for the hinge. They get drilled into the lid, the pin goes through the sides, and that's how our hinge works. So we're doing 500 boxes. That's 1,000 holes that I need to drill. Just a few. So we need to think about ways to optimize, the setup, how to make it faster, how to make it repeatable. So I have sort of like the ultimate drill press jig over here. Here's the drill press. We have it set up with a 3/16 inch bit, brad point, so that we're getting nice centering without it wanting to drift. But you can see all these hoses and everything I have around, and you can see this pedal on the floor. So what I did is I used these all these different pneumatic components to create a clamping system, and actually this will blow out the area when I'm done drilling. So what I do is I have this set up right now so that the clamp is activated when the pedal is not being pressed, like an always on kind of thing. And when I press this clamp will deactivate and this will blow air. So what I do, I put my piece in. Now it's clamped. Don't get your finger in there like I did yesterday. And we could drill it. So you don't even have to hold it. Yeah, I have my depth stop set on the drill press, and then it clears the dust away, so I'm not, going up against dust. And then I can move on to the next one. So the focus on this video is not necessarily on this jig itself, but I want to show you all about this push-to-connect pneumatic stuff. We'll show you where it starts from the compressor and some of these different applications for these little accessories. Here at the start of the system, this is our compressor. This is a Quincy QT 7.5. It's a 7.5 horsepower, 80-gallon compressor. Love this thing, and we have it going into a dryer. This is a Harbor Freight air dryer. You can probably hear it running. Sounds like an old refrigerator, which is basically what it is. So once the air goes into the dryer, it comes out and it goes into this manifold here. So this is air going in, and you can see we have one line going up. We won't be talking about that. That goes straight to the edge bander, but out of the bottom you can see this blue plastic piping. So that is the air for the whole shop. That goes to all of the tools that require air, aside from the edge bander obviously, and all of like our blow guns, all of that stuff. This is all push-to-connect tubing, so it's just a 1/2 inch outside diameter tubing with a 3/8 inch interior, and all of these fittings are push-to-connect. So maybe we'll take you around the shop and show you sort of where it connects, where it drops down, and what type of fittings that it works with. We're here at the first sort of junction in the system, and this is like a little drop-down manifold, so we have just an air line connected here. If you're not familiar with how these work, you see we have a T here, and we have a cap here. So here's a piece of tubing. This comes in different sizes. We'll show you some smaller stuff soon. And it's literally just a push to connect. So now that's on there, that's airtight. You pull this little flange forward to get it off. Same thing with a 90. And that's it. So the only tools that are required really to work with this is a tubing cutter. And most of the time when you buy kits, it comes with this or something like this. So this gives you a nice square cut, which is really the only requirement. So I have a nice square cut. And you just push everything together. When we did the shop here, I think we went through two rolls. The rolls ran about $80 a piece, so So we did this whole shop, you know, for probably $300 including all the fittings, which is pretty good. We have a lot of air tools, and you know, the shop is 70 by 70, so we ran a lot of tubing. But basically everything is set up into either a manifold like that, or over here you can see we're going into a little dryer, or a water separator I should call it. So this is where the air is coming in for this drill press jig. I have here like a ball valve, so I can isolate this and work on this without having to turn the pressure down on the regulator. And all of this is the same thing. So this is just a 8mm tubing, and the fittings are all the same. You know, they're just push to connect. Have like a Y. And with these, we also have, let's see, right here. So I should say, I just buy all this stuff on Amazon. So with these, you can go into, you know, your clamps, into the pedal, into the regulator. So this is just the 90-degree version. So this is, I'm horrible with MPT. I guess this is a 3/8 MPT. Just goes right into the regulator. This is how we get air into our laser for the air assist. And if you've ever looked inside, you know, machines like our Edge Bander, you find these push to connect, especially with the 8mm, or maybe this is 6. Either way, this small tubing, you find that all over inside of machines like that. From here at the drill press, we can head down to another tool and show you another way we use these pneumatic clamps. So over here we have the pocket hole machine, and this is another setup that I threw together for clamping over here. So we have a larger size pneumatic clamp, and we have a different type of switch this time. I didn't want a pedal because if I'm doing a large piece, you know, I may be standing back here and I won't have access if the pedal is, you know, over here under the machine. So what we opted for here is like a toggle. So I have to put my hand here to actuate this machine. We've looked at this machine before, but it's a Porter Cable production pocket cutter. You push forward and it creates the slot in the bottom with a 3/8 inch router bit, and then you pull forward and there's another router with a 9/64 bit that comes forward and makes your pilot hole. So I always have to put my hand here no matter what. So this is a nice way to easily actuate that. I can come up, push it, push forward, back, and release. This one is much bigger and much stronger because we're trying to hold down, you know, solid wood when it's being cut with this router. And I have the same setup here. I just have our push to connect tubing coming from the compressor, goes up into a water separator. And really, this isn't to separate water, it's just so that I can control the pressure. You know, so if I turn this pressure down, I can get less clamping force. So yeah, that comes into here. We have this little manifold with the toggle, and it's just opening and closing, you know, these valves. So I think push to connect fittings and you know, all of these pneumatic clamps and stuff could be really handy in your shop. These aren't the last two jigs I'm going to be setting up this way. You know, once you get into it, the wheels start turning and you think of all these different ways where you can use these. Buddy Dino uses them to clamp up cabinet doors. He makes basically a pegboard that these mount to, and he uses it to clamp up cabinet doors. So you could use it in that fashion. And there's other you know, pneumatic accessories that you can buy, not just clamps. So yeah, I think it's worth checking out. If you have any questions about these specific jigs that we have, let us know in the comments. We'll see you next week.